What's up? If you're not aware by now, but what we are governed by are open border communists. When you see this government, and indeed government members that have supported attacking the youth of this country, what was the future of this country, to the repeal the eight, in tens of thousands of Irish children no longer being here, that should have been here, to be replaced by people not of this land. It's a really stark warning as to where this country was going. And now, what we found and what we see right now is the attack on the young has concluded, and the attack on the elderly has continued. Now, why do I say continued? Well, I say that from the last couple of years when the Chinese flu nonsense happened here and communism was enacted in this country. You were told what to do and how to do it by this government, and people obliged. Some people are still obliging this government. Even after all of the stuff was exposed, that was exposed at the outset, and has continued to be exposed since then. Because here's the thing: when these people talk about voluntary options, it was a voluntary option at the beginning of the Chinese flu to be wearing a mask, even though everybody knew the science behind it and said, nah, that's not going to stop anything. And these people at the beginning agreed. They said, yeah, I suppose you're right, but if you want to wear a mask, go ahead. Then it became it's mandatory to do that. You have to do that. But I don't want to do that. This is hogswash. Why would I do that? You have to do it. We've written it into law, or else. You cannot go outside of your 5k, or else. But guess what we can do? We can keep the borders open and import people. Hand over fist, we can import people to pick fruit. But you? No, you can't go outside your 5k because we said so. And then they drafted in laws and wrote those in where they could abduct you from your house on the suspicion that you had the sniffles. A lot of people forget about that. So that's full on communism. And for anyone that's been to a communist country, they would recognise that. And they recognise the evils of that. You see, in China, for example, if the Chinese government deem your area to be something that they want to build something upon, they move you on. You have no choice in the matter. You are either being moved on or you are being moved into a jail. And that is it. There is no choice. It is not voluntary. So whilst this government like to say that things are voluntary, they are voluntary for now. Do you remember the USC? That was a voluntary contribution, one to be phased out and given back to you. That never happened. So when these people say voluntary, what they just mean by that, in my view, is accept it for now, Paddy, and then later it becomes permanent. Like the plastic bag shenanigans. It's 15 cents for a plastic bag. We've totally saved the environment, guys. Remember that? Still paying money for bags nowadays. It's stupid stuff, especially when you go and travel and you see places like America that hand out bags for free. This little country, though, we're changing the world, we are, by paying 15 cents a plastic bag. But in all the things that are despicable and horrible about this government, they've not only attacked the young, but they've continued to attack the elderly. They scared the elderly over the last couple of years with the Chinese flu. You have to take these things, these experiments from companies with large criminal histories and penalties behind them. Engage with that, or else you're going to be passing on to the next life. And again, people obliged. They said okay. And then it became, well, it's voluntary at the moment, guys, but if you'd like to get a passport to go to a cinema, a gym, a restaurant, well, you can do that. It's voluntary. And then shortly after that, it became mandatory. You had to have that to enter these places. So, what I am saying in this video is that there are two examples only in recent times, with the same people that are in politics now telling you that right sizing your home. And I have to be honest with you when I say this, guys. This government disgusts me in the veneer that they put on. You see, what we're dealing with right now are people as a collective. Snakes. A snake is looking at you, it is opening its mouth, it is showing you its fangs, and some people look at it and they go, oh, look at the snake smiling. It's like Kaa from the Jungle Book. It's not though. What the snake is looking to do is it's ready to strike. And you are not aware of this. And this is what we've been treated to again and again and again and again. And somehow, some way, these people keep getting voted in. I don't know about you, but I look back at what happened in November and I say to myself, I don't think these people, I really don't, especially when I see what's happening across the world. But they use these words, healthcare. Well, what does women's healthcare mean? Well, that means repeal the 8, which means tens of thousands of Irish children no longer with us. That's what that means. They like to change these words and definitions of these words at their behest. And this is what they're looking to do with this right sizing. This is political speak for you're going to go into a smaller gaff and you're going to do it because we said so. Now, this at the beginning is voluntary. And what is going to happen here is the older generations who have suffered through many hardships, and they will tell you that themselves, they have suffered through the currency being changed, they have suffered through putting food on tables, suffered through being able to get work, suffered through austerity and all of these other things, and low wages and no work and all of the above. And these people now are now being treated to, after raising their families and raising grandchildren, to being told, make way, Joni, your house is too big, because we have to get Kelechi, Abdul and Alexander and the lads and ladies into your gaff. Because that's where we're at. This isn't for Irish people. This hasn't been done for the Irish person. If it was, you wouldn't see the likes of inheritance tax be as high as it is. You wouldn't see property tax be the way it is. These are things that are fundamentally wrong in this country. And why do you think that there's a hard push on now from these people to oust the elderly now of all times? Well, they're telling you that they can't accommodate asylum seekers anymore. They've nowhere to put them. They don't know where they're going to go. They don't know where these refugees are going to go. They don't know where other foreigners are going to go that have come into the place. Legal immigration is just as big a problem as illegal immigration, because these people are still looking for places to live. So there was no energy for that there from these politicians over the last couple of years, but now that energy exists now. And why now? Well, because the nameless, faceless, shady entities that are controlling these people are telling them this is the way to go. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. So this all then harkens back to the census, which people spoke about at the time, me being one of them. And I said, as well as other people, that they're utilising this census because they're threatening you with a fine. They are threatening you with imprisonment for very detailed knowledge about your house. And people reached out to me at the time and said, hey Ninja, they're looking for the time I leave to go to work. They're looking for the time I get back home. They're looking to see how many rooms I have. Is there possibility for this, that or the other? Very private things that were being asked. Meanwhile, a lot of these politicians, they won't answer media outlets like Grift Media. They won't answer you when you ask them questions on the street. They run away from you. But they want to know everything about you, a private citizen. And if you don't tell them, they're threatening you with a fine or imprisonment. That's communism. That is communism. So, a lot of people chose not to fill them out because they saw what was coming, which was, well, if I'm living in a 3-bedroom house or a 4-bedroom house or a 5-bedroom house and there's 2, 3, 4 of us here, depending on the size, and we have an extra room, what's to stop this government from saying, hey, you have an extra room there, we're going to shove this gang of asylum seekers, refugees or other foreigners into your house? Nothing at all. In fact, they've been trying to sweeten that deal for people for the last number of years. You can earn X amount of money, there's a 13, 14,000, without being taxed by renting a room to someone. See how this starts? Hey, we're giving you money for that. Yeah, but now you're sharing your living space with someone else that you didn't want to be there. Your property, your land, private land, that you have to share with somebody else, and now you're being sweetened with about 13 or 14 grand. And that snowballs into, well, sure, why wouldn't everybody be doing that? You've got too much of a big space there to be having just a couple of years there. And now they've turned their attention to the elderly. And why have they turned their attention to the elderly? Because there are a number of elderly people out there that are swayed by things like this. So that census that was done, now they know an awful lot about these people. So if you're an elderly man or woman, or indeed an elderly couple of, a man and a woman, now you're being targeted. Sure, wouldn't it be better off for you to go and live in an apartment or a bungalow, is what these people say. Make way for Alexander, Abdul, Kalechi and their families. And off into a broom closet you go, Joni, because we don't give a fuck about you. Because when you end up on a hospital bed, there ain't any hope for you there. And we're hoping to get you there as quickly as possible. That's all when I see things like this. I think when you look at situations like these, and what has happened right now is, and what has happened with me is, and I think for the large collective of people out there, they have seen the smiling, sneering, snickering politician and have said to themselves, no thanks. They've also at the same time said what I would say, which is, if you try to go down this voluntary route right now and then decide to try and enforce this, you're going to have a big fucking problem on your hands. Because right now, you've agitated people enough, but you're going to agitate people even further when you try this sort of, I would even say, shtick, this stunt that you're attempting here. Because what they will do is, and what they try to do right now is, they try to save face and say, hey guys, look what we're doing, we're trying to fix the housing crisis that we've created, and we have the open border still going, we still have welfare on tap for people coming in from outside of this country into this country to be handed over, we're giving them free houses, we're building houses and we're giving them free houses there, and it's still not enough. So next is on to your granny, your granddad. Put them in with them. Tell your granny and granddad downsize. I cannot put into words how despicable this is. I hope that this video conveys that message to you, for you to understand and to acknowledge and to push forward this information to other people to say, look what these people are trying to do. And I mean, this is the thing. This is what gets me the most as well too, about these cowardly, spineless fucks that we have as politicians. Instead of them coming out and saying what they mean, what they are doing is they are politicking it. They are using political language, right-sizing your home. How despicable is that? You haven't even got the stones to come out and say it. But what is happening is there are people that are sitting here that realise what's going on and they're saying, no thanks. Your right to a home is enshrined under the Constitution, and these people are constantly looking to attack your private property. They've attacked it with the property taxes. They are attacking it in every other sense of the way that they can do it. The rising costs of electricity and gas, we pay for some of the highest prices around Europe. It's absurd stuff. Even though they have loads of regenerative energy, we have a gas line that we sold off, not we, politicians sold off to a Canadian firm. That's our gas that should be given to us for nothing. Our natural resource. We have countless numbers of these now electricity grids, or even if you want to go and say it, maybe even these solar panels that we could be utilising and could be giving free electricity to the people of Ireland. No, you're paying through the nose instead. There's nothing being given to you by these people, but instead they're continually looking to take from you. So what I will finish this video with is this. Are you going to continue allowing these people to take you for a fool and to take you? Or are you going to take your country back? Because that's the only thing that sorts this out, is that if nationalists are running this country, not the Pied Piper of stupidity of, hey guys, how can we get people out of their homes that they have raised, and I just want to put this into context, that they have raised their families in, that they have raised multiple generations in, that they have memories echoing those walls. But let's shove the older people out there into a little closet somewhere because we want them offside because of the people that we're bringing in. This isn't to benefit the O'Shaughnessy family. It's not to benefit the O'Briens. It's not to benefit our people. Because at every hand's turn, this government and indeed these ministers and TDs have shown you that they're not here to benefit you. They're here to benefit themselves, and they're here to benefit the replacement of you and those who are replacing you, that they are fully intending on being their new voter base. We are at chronic levels of, quite frankly, evil running our society. Chronic. And it began a long time ago, but for me, it really ramped itself up when it came to the repeal the 8th. That was when it was extremely clear to me as to what we were dealing with. And it has become only clearer and clearer and clearer since then that I was right in my assumption then, and now we are dealing with flagrant communism. Stay in your gaff over the sniffles. If you don't, we'll send police out to you. What? Sure, that's... Why aren't the police at home then if it's that dangerous? How come you're not allowed to go 5k away from the gaff, but these people are able to fly in? How come we now have to take a passport now to go into places that we were going into beforehand? No bother. How come you're telling me contradictory things? Because the thing that happens with communism, once you scrutinise it for long enough, it's a stupid philosophy first and foremost, and second of all, it doesn't stand up. Because it can't, because it has failed so many times, and it has shown to fail so many times. We're going to levels of communism here in this country that are like China. Think about this for a second, and I know we've said it, I'm going to finish the video off, but I just keep getting more thoughts. I'm delighted to hear that you're still here with me listening to me. But think about a government in China that enacted a one-child policy that became voluntary to begin with, and then it became mandatory. They allowed their people to have one child. Think about that. Because that's the road we're going down here now with this guy. They've started with our medical rights. They have started now with our property rights. And they are starting now to attack you before you have even reached the grave. And now they are going to continue that even after that. Because they're going to go, well, sure, if you were in the grave there now, where's our cut? What are we getting for that? But sure, hang on, I worked for this house all my life. No, we need to cut a percentage there of that. But sure, you didn't do anything. If anything, you've made this society more dangerous. And you've given me nothing back. I've got nothing from you. So why would I be enacting myself on your policies? It's mad stuff. But that's where we're at right now. You've got people there that are going to now, and I think what's going to happen right now is they'll walk this one back for about 2 or 3 weeks. They'll come back at it with another little term, another little kind of buzzword term. Go back to the little marketing groups. Hey, marketing guys, they didn't really like the term right sizing. What can we say that's different from there? Can we say size right? Maybe we might just change the words around, they won't notice. Or maybe we can say, without saying it, maybe sizing up but sizing down. That's the type of stuff that these people are going with. Goofballs of the highest order. And we're being treated to a circus and clowns running around this circus like you've never seen before. But what we're lucky with now is that there are so many people with their eye on the ball, because this tweet got absolutely hockeyed over, which I was delighted to see. Lots of people commented underneath this, and we're absolutely lashing them over about this, because people see it for what it is, and the veil has been lifted, and now what you get to see from here is 133,000 views, 66 likes. Whoever the 66 people are that like that need their heads examined or need to be in the nearest mental institution, and then 701 comments lambasting these people over. The veil's lifted now, and what has happened right now is not one but two, but maybe even 3 to 4 generations of people now have come through, have seen what's going on, and it's been exposed. So this government are going to work quicker than ever to try and get the wool over people's eyes, to make things into law, to try and probe you and prep you for this sort of stuff. Because this is what this is all about. We're going to float this idea out here for you first. We're going to make a voluntary, then it's mandatory. And then we'll see what we'll do next. I'll be honest with you lads, and I'm telling you this now, there's nobody going to be crossing my door that's from anywhere else and be forced into my gaff, or any gaff that's anybody close to me. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. And what you will do is, you will have more and more people that are going to feel that way, and they should absolutely feel that way. because that's the right way to feel. And our ancestors, our people that fought for hundreds of years to make this country what it is, didn't do so in vain for it to be thrown away by durts in large establishment parties that are deciding to do things that are completely and utterly not supported, not consented to, and not what was in their mandate when they decided to run for the elections. None of this nonsense was in there. And now they're all like, after the fact, surprise. Like, if we had a serious judicial system and indeed serious system of policing, the police would be arresting these people and going, oh, hang on here now. You're engaging in a large scale fraud here because you told the people this thing and now you're doing that. Good luck to you. Into the jail. That's what should be happening. They should be investigated to the highest, to the end level. Frankly, it's despicable, and hopefully, this country is making a turn. But this is the one, I think, now, another nail that these people are trying to cement this situation with, to try and stick their finger into the eye of you and see if you're going to take this. Nah, I'm not taking that. What about you? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. Really appreciate that. Share it far and wide. Let as many people know, let as many Irish people know about what's going on here in our beautiful country. How our country's been run into the ground by these people that are sinister individuals that have no love for the Irish people, show nothing but contempt and distaste towards and disdain towards the Irish people. Let's get people running this country that love this country and love the people and not going to do stupid things like this. I'll talk to you later. Look.